long before the October 7th massacres inside of Israel by Hamas, Islamic Jihad, and others from Gaza, which started the long and terrible war inside of Gaza. Qatar and its government-owned Jazeera propaganda arm were already in full-blown mode demonizing Israel. They wanted what the multi-billionaire rulers of Qatar want, and Israel hated and despised, not only as an easy target and scapegoat to unite billions of people behind, not only to deflect all eyes away from themselves, including the terrible abuses committed inside of Qatar against countless foreign workers, especially women and laborers in general, but also because their theology demands a demonized, hated Israel and Jew. They knew full well that the billions of dollars given to Hamas, not only from Qatar, but in countless aid money, not only turned fat cat Hamas leaders into billionaires and millionaires living lives of luxury in Qatar, Turkey, and elsewhere, but funded tunnels beneath Gaza that had one purpose alone: to wage war and terror against Israel, protecting Hamas and Islamic Jihad from the attacks when Israel responded, knowing full well that they were safe in their tunnels, that Hamas and Islamic Jihad were safe in their tunnels, while the children and civilians of Gaza were to be sacrificed, all in the name of propaganda and demonizing Israel. An Al Jazeera so-called reporter interviewed Hamas so-called fighters hiding in the tunnels and could barely hide his rapture and joy, as though he was in the presence of movie stars. How any self-respecting human being could feel good about themselves hiding in a tunnel, knowing full well there are unprotected civilians and children above ground with no such protection, is beyond imagination. Soldiers, which these cowards are not, exist to protect their civilians, not to use them as sacrificial human shields to hide beneath and behind. The fact that Hamas and Qatar spent billions building tunnels beneath ground and not a single bomb shelter above ground in and of itself tells everything that needs to be known about Hamas, Qatar, and the Muslim Brotherhood of which Hamas is a part and of which Qatar fully supports. Hitler was a coward that did not care how many Germans were bombed and killed, how many German children were bombed and killed, just so long as he could hide in his bunker and have Jews murdered. Millions of children were killed in order for Hitler to pursue his genocide and genocidal wars. Pressure must be put upon Qatar to get its Hamas lackeys to release the hostages and end this war once and for all. Without war, without Hamas stealing food aid, without the chaos of the war that Hamas and its backers wanted and started, there would be no civilian casualties inside of Gaza, no children killed, no child hungry. And then, when this war finally ends, build a new Gaza in which children are not indoctrinated to hate and kill, which was done, this indoctrination, which was done under the watchful eyes of the UN and others that knew full well of the nightmare that they were helping to create. Build a Gaza in which children are no longer used as child soldiers. Children, mainly teenage soldiers killed by Israelis, are counted by Hamas as child casualties. The children of Gaza must stop being sacrificed to fuel the hatred of Hamas, Qatar, and others. This is not about liking Israel or supporting Israel. It is about opposing the bloodthirsty theology of the Muslim Brotherhood and its Hamas, Qatar-supported chapter. How easily Americans have forgotten their own 9/11. This is the same ideology driving Boko Haram, Taliban, Al-Shabaab, Al-Qaeda, RSF, Abu Sayyaf, ISIS, allied democratic forces, and many others, murdering, marrying children, enslaving, causing famines, refugees, permanently wounding slaughtering minority religion people and more all over the globe. But because these famines, these wars, these conflicts do not involve the Jew to blame and demonize, few to no one cares. Civilian casualties did not deter the Allies, Roosevelt, Churchill, and all of the others allied against Hitler. This was war, and they knew that Hitler must be defeated no matter how many civilian lives were lost in the process. And millions of civilian lives were lost. No one was interested in time of war in supplying the German or Japanese with food and medicine. Millions of children were killed, including many from malnutrition and disease. Millions of children and others were permanently wounded, crippled, had amputations and disabilities because of the war. Qatar exploits children and civilian casualties, not because it cares about children and civilians, but because it wants war against Israel and the Jewish people. Stop giving Qatar and its Hamas subsidiary what they want. They want this war. They want famine. They are willing to sacrifice the children of Gaza in order to demonize Israel. Countless millions of people hate Jews and Israel so much that they are willing to see the last child of Gaza sacrificed. Al Jazeera indulges in this hate and demonization and demonizing. Unfortunately, so do far too many others. All it does is harm children on all sides.